We have so many mitzvahs deraisa. What is the point of adding derabonons? Really all boundaries, but specifically the derabonons. Why? Why are you trying to make our lives crazy? What's the goodness about it? Now, obviously, if you're a little bit learned, you know that there are halachic differences between deraisas and derabonons. But in this podcast, we're going to explore the Chassidic approach. Something you may not hear from other people. The beauty of boundaries. Welcome to the beauty of boundaries, specifically derabonons. Here we go. I'm very excited. So, deraisas, mitzvahs deraisa, the 613 mitzvahs. The point of them is to purify the world. Hashem wanted a world with us. We were back in the beginning before Chassidus. Everything was all nice and dandy, and we were, but the world wasn't. So Hashem made 613 mitzvahs to purify the world. Then came Chassidus, and unfortunately, how can we purify the world when we ourselves are not purified? So we had to work on ourselves. So here comes the derabonons. We had to add these derabonons because of the Chassidus. So we still can't forget what was the main point of coming down to this world, was to fix the world. But in order to really fix the world properly, because we got tainted from the sin of Chassidus, then we have to fix ourselves. So that's where the derabonons come in. The beauty of the derabonons is that it purifies, it rectifies us from the Chassidus. Specifically, what's even more beautiful, we're going to go deep into this. It doesn't just correct the sin and heebie-jeebies, and I don't know how does that do it exactly, but we're going to figure out why it's beautiful, the derabonons. It's not just fixing you up. Here we go. So the derabonons, the boundaries of derabonons. So let's first talk about the mitzvahs assays of derabonon, so to say, like the Netilas Yadayim, doing the Netilas Yadayim, reading Megillah, lighting candles, lighting Hanukkah candles, reading the Megillah, yeah. So these things are added purification. These things help us connect more as a person. In other words, the deraisa, when I say deraisa fixes the world, that has nothing to do, that's like, okay, like it doesn't matter who it gets done by, almost, and it just has to get done. Now, obviously, the mitzvahs have to be done by a Jewish person, but from a psychological point, it doesn't matter what your intentions were. If the job gets done, like as we spoke in the previous podcast about Yetzer Zayin and getting Maisa or Iker, as long as it gets done, that's the main thing. But what about you as a person? You are not only a robot that gets things done. You are made up of a seichel and hergish, spirituality. What about those parts? That's where the derabonons come in. The derabonons add. They are there to add. They are the key to unlocking your mind and your heart to get more involved with Hashem. The timing of everything is very b'hashgacha pratis. The timing of the derabonons and all the gzeres that we had throughout the generations was there because we were, in addition to the Chassidus, we were also lagging behind. We were getting too much caught up in the galus, or is to always the refuah kaidem lamaka, and in order to prepare ourselves for the galus, we had to be strong. Like it says in general, we know that Chassidus, one of the reasons for Chassidus is to be able to handle the last bits of galus, and also preparation for Geulah, but that's not the point. So too, we hear the derabonons are there to prepare us, to make us a kli, that we, as a full being, that our seichel and our hegesh should also be involved. Through doing the Sheva mitzvahs, derabonon, and all the gzeres, we are being in tuned. We are also getting our psychological part of us involved with Hashem. Now let's get even deeper. Can't wait. This is the most geshmake part. Specifically with the laisas of derabonon, anything zera of derabonon that we shouldn't be doing. Specifically, this applies to derabonon because they had ruach hakodesh, they knew what they were talking about. But even most of the, if not all, the gzeres, the things that we shouldn't be doing throughout the generations, especially if they were by ruach hakodesh, they're very wise. How are they very wise? The whole point is to have a relationship with Hashem. That's the point of life. And a relationship with Hashem, as we say, it's not just a ma'is. Hashem also wants your seichel and hergish. So here comes the derabonon, the wise chachamim, the talmidei chachamim, and say, we want to make sure that your entire being, not just the robotic part of you, your ma'isa part of you, but your entire being is also involved with Hashem. So how do we get to do that? So specifically with the Laisa says the derabonons, that's accomplished. How so? Because imagine if it could happen. Let's say a kosher example, and I pun intended, that you walk there's halachas about of not eating of non-kosher food, how much you can get, how close you can get to it, not like physically close, but how much you can get in business involved and business involved with non-kosher food, and also marasai and all these things going into a non-kosher store. So there are halachas about it. Either there's some of them are more strict than others, whatever. The point is that you should not be eating non-kosher food. But there are many gzeres that and derabonons that hold you back. I mean, the basar b'chalav is a major. So many gzeres to hold you back from basar b'chalav. Are the chachamim making us crazy? No. They're trying to get our entire psychological part of us also involved with Hashem. Because through these boundaries, we don't have to numb ourselves. Because either two things will happen. Either, chas v'shalom, the person will succumb and do the avera, so that's obvious, so that's the point of boundaries, so you shouldn't come to do that avera. But even in the case, and this is the chiddush, even for those people that will say, what's the point? Like, I can hold myself back. I can, it won't happen this time. So, okay, again, even if it won't happen that time, it can happen a later time if he gets used to it. But I'm talking about, let's just focus on this one time. I'm going to be okay. Like, I can hold myself back. I can go in close proximity, I can deal with business with non-kosher food, or let's say going into a shmutzig place, and I can hashmir seinayin. I can hold myself back. But you are numbing yourself. You are numbing your psychological, beautiful self. It's not healthy. And the outcome of that is that when it comes to things that you should be sensitive to, either in marriage with your spouse or with Hashem, to open your heart, all of a sudden, where did my feelings go? I know where it went. It's because you can't just turn it on and off. It doesn't work like that. It's not healthy to numb yourself. So if you have the boundaries, you won't have that problem, because you won't need to numb. You won't go there to numb yourself. So that's the beauty of the boundaries. Chachamim wanted that you shouldn't have to, even if it's not just to not do the avera. It's also to preserve your sensitivity. Very important word. It's something we need to be more sensitive to. Yes, we are the akev of the generation, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And it is an obligation that we try our hardest to be sensitized. The beauty of nida boundaries, it keeps us sensitized. So to all parts of Judaism, all parts of Yiddishkeit, we need to be sensitive to Yiddishkeit, and we do that through the boundaries. If we keep to the boundaries, we don't have to numb ourselves to not do them. We can just keep to the boundaries, and then we keep our sensitivity. There's so many examples I can give to this. It's a lot of it with mixing with the opposite gender. It's not like, okay, I'll be okay if I go around in this situation. Don't numb yourself. Don't do that to yourself. The summary takeaway is there is beauty to boundaries, specifically the derabonons. The chachamim throughout all the generations made boundaries so that we preserve our sensitivity to Yiddishkeit, because if we don't have those boundaries and we overcome it, we may take away our sensitivity because we're trying to numb ourselves in order not to do it. Because there's no way as a healthy human being that you can be in that situation and not succumb to it. The only way is to numbing to yourself, which is not healthy. And the Chachamim don't want you to be in that and to do that. Also, the whole point of derabonons is to elevate you as a person, as opposed to deraises is to elevate the world. The derabonons is to help you. And that's where it comes in, that derabonons also help you, your psychological part of yourself. They should also have a relationship with Hashem. And the timing of the derabanans are also very important. It was needed whenever it happened. Chaim lebracha. Don't forget, subscribe if you didn't. Chaim Levracha, Mashiach now.